In Chapter 5, on slides 12 and 13, we're looking at a cost-profit volume or break-even analysis. With this, we're going to take a look at the information that's given, and then we're going to go and look at the problem. This is actually a cost-profit volume. Cost-profit volume looks at profit. When we take a look at profit, remember that profit is equal to revenue minus total cost. We need to figure out what's revenue and what's total cost. For a break even, analysis, we want our profit to equal 0. So you can do that two ways. You can have your revenue equal your total cost, or you can have your profit of 0 equal your revenue minus your total cost. Either way. This problem is actually a profit problem. We're going to be taking a look at profit, which is revenue minus total costs. So let's go back to the slide and the problem. Marie Hartwell is comparing two sites for her clothing boutique, which she has decided to relocate from a tiny strip mall that has had declining business over the past 2 years. Marie's casual clothing generally appeals to younger customers, and both sites will be more visible to these customers. One site is located downtown near the campus of a prestigious prep school. The other is in a popular indoor shopping mall. Both sites have high traffic counts, which are listed on this next slide we'll get to in a minute, which Marie believes will be an important factor to her boutique success. She estimates that the average number of customers each day will be about 0.33% of the daily traffic count. Let's stop here for a minute and write this down. Information pertaining to this problem is we need to know the average daily traffic count. And this is going to be 0.33% is what she's going to be using. Now, when you do a problem and you see a percentage sign in there, you need to transfer that to the decimal point. 0.33% is the same as saying 0.0033. Let's get some more information from here. The value of the average sale per customer is about $30, which is the median price of her clothes. So we have an average sale, which is $30. Her median price of clothes. Go on to slide 13. The average cost of clothing she sells is 50% of the retail price. More information. Her average is 50% of the retail price. 50% of $30 is $15. She has some renovations she has to do, which is listed on the chart as site preparation, and she'll be paying a monthly rent at each place. How many months in the year are there? 12. Her shop will be open 306 days per year. We want to compare the annual before tax profit for the two sites. Now, the reason we want to do before tax profit was one is downtown, one's in a mall. Not sure if they're both in the same taxed areas, if one city versus county, things like that. You might need to take taxes into consideration, but right now we just want to take a look at before tax profit, because we're gonna assume that they are both in the city or the county, whatever, so that they're in the same tax bracket, same amount of taxes will be held with each. So here we have our average business day traffic for both downtown and the mall, the site preparation cost, and the monthly operating cost, your rent, your insurance, your staffing, etc., the light bill. So let's take a look at how we can figure out her profit. I have some information here that I wrote down that I pointed out, information on the other on the actual slide on your PowerPoints. So what, again, we want to do is we want to find the profit, which is equal to the revenue minus the total cost. And I'm going to start with the profit for downtown. I need to figure out what the revenue is. Well, I know that my revenue is the sales that I'm making each day. And we said that each sale was about $30. That was a medium cost. Well, how many sales am I going to make? Because I want an annual number here. Well, each day I'm going to take 0.33%, which we said was 0.0033, of the traffic count. 0.33% of people who come by the store, walk by the store, actually come in and buy something. And for downtown, that was 16,500. Now we said annual. This is one day. How many days a year is she going to be open? 306 days a year. That is my revenue. 30 times 0.0033 times 16,500 times 306 days. That's my annual revenue. I want to subtract from that my total cost. Well, what makes up total cost? Total costs are equal to our variable cost plus our fixed cost. So let's see. My variable cost. Well, what does it cost me to get the merchandise that I'm selling? 50% of what the median price was. And we said that would be $15. Well, what's the cost of what I'm buying? Well, what I'm selling. So I still have the same numbers per the traffic count and the number of days that I'm open. That's my variable cost here. But I also have fixed cost. I had renovation costs or site preparation costs, and I had my operating costs, the rent, etc. So my fixed costs, I'm going to add to this number, which site preparation for the downtown site was $22,000, and it was $11,000 a month. And again, we're doing this yearly, so I need 12 months for my operating cost. And there I have my total cost. So now I need to do the math. And if we take a look at our basic mathematical operations and rules, is I'm going to stay within my brackets and stay within the parentheses within the brackets first. So my revenue is going to be 30 times 0.0033 times 16,500 times 306. 499,851 is what I got. I am going to subtract what's in the brackets. 15 times 0.0033 times 16,500 times 306. I got 249,925.50 plus 22,000 plus 11,000 times 12, which I got at 132,000. So I am going to take this to the next page, and we have, we're still looking for the profit for downtown. Our revenue, $499,851 minus, I had 249,925.50, 22,000, and 132,000, all within that bracket from the last page, this right here. If I add all of that together, I get 403,925.50. Subtract that from my revenue. So this right here, 403,929.50 is my total cost. I get, and I subtract that from my revenue, I get 95,925.50 as what my profit from the downtown store would be if I decide to move there and move my business there. But I need to compare this to the mall. So looking back just a minute, a lot of these numbers stayed the same. I know that my sale of the clothing that I bring in stays the same. The percentage of the traffic stays the same, and it's going to be open the same number of days. So it's only this number in the formula, the traffic count, that I need to change for my revenue. On the total cost side, my variable cost, the price of the clothing, what it costs me, stays the same. Again, the percentage in the traffic count and the number of days open all stayed the same. And again, the traffic count is what I have to change. My site preparations, that cost will change. So I need to take that and change that cost along with the cost of operating will change, although the number of months in a year, hopefully we won't change that. If you're changing it, let me know how you're doing it. I want to add an extra month or two, especially if I get vacation for it. All right, I probably have to work, but I would like vacation for it. So let's take a look at the profit for the mall. We have this formula. We figured this out already. All we're doing is substituting in the numbers that need to be substituted. So for the revenue, it's still $30 times the 0.0033 or 0.33%. The traffic count, though, changes. The mall traffic count is 18,300, and it's still open 306 days a year. From that, I want to subtract my variable cost, which is going to be 15 times 0.0033 times, again, the traffic count for the mall, which was 18,300 times the number of days, 306, that it will be open. I want to add to my variable cost the site preparation costs, which is $25,000 for the mall, plus my operating costs, which again changes for the mall, and here it was 12,000 times the number of months in a year, 12. So our formula now becomes our revenue minus our total cost, putting in those numbers that were specific to the mall versus downtown. So looking at this, I'm going to take it to the next page and do the math. So the profit for the mall, my revenue, 30 times 0.0033 times 18,300 times 306 days. I got 554, 380.20. I want to subtract from that. My variable cost was 15 times 0.0033 times 18,300 times 306, which I got as 277,190.10, plus my renovation costs, which we said was 25,000, plus my operating cost for the year, which we said was 12,000 times 12, which is 144,000. So looking at this, I still have my revenue at 554, 380.20 minus 277.190 or 277,190.10 plus 25,000 plus 144,000. I got 446,190.10. And if I do the math correctly, my revenue minus my total cost then will be 108,190.10. If my profit is $108,190.10 at the mall versus $95,225.50 at the downtown location, what would you do? I would pick the mall. I'm going to get a higher profit. That would be the better option. This right here is how we take a look at a cost profit volume and looking at pretty much a profit statement, revenue minus total cost.